Basketball fans, welcome back. So as per recording of this video, the Ahli Tripoli and APR qualified for the BAL Season 5 playoffs, and Ahli Tripoli went 6-0. They were the only unbeaten team in the Nile Conference, and APR went 3 of 3 when they were able to beat the Nairobi Thunder at the final day of the Nile Conference. And they're the only two teams to qualify from the Nile Conference as the third place team. The second slot for the third best team went to FS Darabat because they had a better point differential. So in this one, I'll be talking about this Al Tripoli versus APR game. It happened this past Saturday. I didn't get the chance to react to it, but I'll be focusing primarily on that. So this is the second part in a 4-part series of videos that I'm going to be making to talk about the final games that happened and also give my final thoughts, what really happened in the Nile Conference and what we can expect in the playoffs moving forward. So before we get started, like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get notified because I'm going to be releasing a ton of content of this nature. And with that out of the way, let's just get into it. So Ahli Tripoli have been that team that I've been observing keenly, especially with their dominant performance. This game, Jalen Adams was the guy who stepped up to the plate and he led the Ahli Tripoli team in scoring. And John Jackie's Boise, our guy, was not able to continue with his 25 plus game streak. In this one, he dropped 15 points. Then Obadiah Noel was the guy that he had a game high 30 points, and he was very instrumental in trying to look for that third win for the APR team. But it didn't happen in this game, but it happened in the last game of the Nile Conference, which I'm going to talk about. So Al Tripoli have been great. With Mohamed Sadi, he was balling out very well. And Al Tripoli, they shot 52% from the field to APR's 50, which was something that it was a regular occurrence because of how good they're able to select their shots. And I've not seen any team be able to pose a threat to the Al Tripoli team like the way the APR did in the second go around, because the APR team were able to close the gap and they made this game a 4-point game with both teams scoring 100 points or more. And the final score was 106-102. And APR's strong 32-point fourth quarter proved to be the difference, because if they had that productivity and the third and able to carry it in the fourth, they might have been able to steal a game from the Al Tripoli, because their main star was not balling out in Janjaki's Boise like that, and Jalen Adams was the guy that was causing problems for the APR side. But nonetheless, the Al Tripoli able to outlast APR. So I was keen in observing the 3-point numbers, especially when it came to both teams. And Al Tripoli, even despite the ability to knock down the 3 ball efficiently, they were not able to stop the offense that was the APR team, especially coming from Obadiah Noel, Jamal Randall, who are just coming in every single time the Al Tripoli were hitting a 3. It was very difficult for Al Tripoli to be able to make the game wide, especially when it came to the scores. So Al Tripoli, they had 51% from the 3-point line. So this by far is among the highest I've seen, because the North African teams, especially the way they play, they are very big at spacing the floor, playing good defense, and finding the open man from the 3. And they're very good at identifying the players who are very good at hitting shots in whichever place. It can be baseline, the elbow on top of the key sometimes, occasionally, but the North African teams are very good at that. And that is what APR had to contend with, because APR were 11 of 28. So they were 39%. And it was very difficult for them to be able to even close the gap from downtown. Then from the free throw line, the APR team went to the free throw line more, and they shot at a 79% clip on 34 attempts, 27 winning. So that was a very good sign for the APR side. And this is majorly the reason as to why this score was very close, because of the fouls, and both teams are fouling each other at a similar rate. And this was very concerning, because had this carried on, this game would have even gone to overtime. But The Al Tripoli were good because they were able to out-rebound the APR side, 39 boards, 20 assists, 7 steals, and that was great. But when it came to blocks, APR had 5 blocks in there. So Jalen Adams was the guy, 26 points in there. He led in score. He led the Al Tripoli in scoring. Asem Marai, he had 10 rebounds for the Al Tripoli. Jalen Adams, not only did he lead in scoring 26, but also led in assists with 8 assists. Then on the other side, Obadiah Noel was the star of the evening. He had 30 points, followed by Jamal Randall's 25. Alex Mpoy, he had 6 rebounds, and Tori Abimana had 10 assists. So these were solid performances coming from both teams, and I was keen in seeing the outcome of this game because even after this game, had APR won, they will have already clinched the second best, become the second best team. But even with the outcome, the APR side still were not certain that they already clinched it, but they had a better point. They had a better point differential than any other team because of how they played and the scoring that they had. So this game, the Al Tripoli had already clinched it already, and there was not pressure. There was not too much pressure on the Al Tripoli because even had they lost this game, they would have still gone on to move on to the BAL playoffs. So this was just a matter of trying to see if they can finish undefeated. And the undefeated status, the only team that they share with is the Al Ittihad. But Al Tripoli were determined to go undefeated, which was a very good sign. And I must say, these games have been they've been interesting, especially for APR because this is the game that the Alodiaro was injured. He was coming off that 3-game injury in that 3-game stretch that he was not able to play. He suffered an injury the first time they played MBB, and this one is on minutes restriction, so it was very difficult to see him not get to his own. Had he been healthy, the outcome would have been different. But Alodiaro was able to redeem himself in the matchup against the RBC Thunder, where he dropped a strong double-double. So in this matchup, in 27 minutes of play, he had 10 points, he was 2 of 7, and he had 6 rebounds. So he's a guy that I was monitoring because had he been great and had he been 100% healthy, he would have assisted Obadiah Noel and Alex Mpoyo and Jamal Randall to be able to carry this team to wins. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And the Al Tripoli were the far better team in the whole Nile Conference. So Alodiara's injury really hurt the team because Yusuf Endoy, even despite playing 25 minutes, he had little productivity because in the 4 points that he only got them from the line where he shot 4 of 6. And he was not even able to make a single field goal. He was 0 for 7. So that was very concerning because he was that guy who was supposed to step up in Alodiara's absence. Because when Alodiara was there, he was the guy that carried the center position and he did everything that needed to happen. So it was very disappointing for an APR side, but nonetheless, they already qualified. But for the Al Tripoli, they just continued their winning ways. Junjakis Boise was not able to score at least 25 points or more in this one. Actually, he had one of his worst games yet, and he was 4 of 12, and if you 15 points, but he was 6 of 9 from the free throw line. He was 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He had 0 turnovers, and he's been one of those efficient players. And his ability to knock down the 3 ball in this one was non-existent because he's only 1 of 6. And that was sad. But he's one of those guys who's very reliable. In the final game, he was able to do some damage. Then I was also monitoring Mohamed Sadi, who has been balling out very well. And he has been one of the most efficient players because never underrate his 15 points on 62% shooting because they come out at the most random times possible. And his ability to knock down the 3 ball is exemplary because out of the 17 threes that the Al Tripoli he had 5 3-pointers there. He shot at an 83% clip from downtown. So the man was not missing a 3, and he had 8 total rebounds. So and 0 turnovers to add on to that. So one of the most efficient players we have seen. Then moving forward, you could see there was that performance by Jalen Adams. Jalen Adams was balling out very well. He played 35 minutes, 26 points, 7 of 11 shooting, 63%, 8 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals, and a block. So Mohamed Sadi had a block, and also Jalen Adams had a block. So the thing is, there's no shortage of offense. Even when John Jackie's Boise was not able to play well, the Al Tripoli still had good offense in there, and they still had the ability to even create. And it didn't matter who had the rock; it didn't matter, and they were still able to go ahead and win this. So I was really enjoying this game because the outcome of this game will have dictated whether the Thunder will have been able to have a chance at the point differential. But hey, I mean, at this point, my team was just hanging on a thin thread. The chances were over, but there's always that window that can open. If a team performs poorly and it's not able to score, that's just about it. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So this matchup was Ahli Tripolis for the taking because they led in rebounds, assists, steals, second chance points, fast break points, and they were able to do the most damage to this APR side. Even despite this game decided by a 4-point spread, and they were able to embarrass the home team like that. So Ahli Tripoli, they finished off with a 6-0 record, which I'm going to look at in the next video. But hey, I mean, this has been This had been one interesting game that I took key note of, and I must say the Thunder really had the work cut out for them, especially when it came to matching up against Al Tripoli, because when they did, it was a bloodbath. But the home team, the APR team, they were able to at least bring the fight to them because no team has been able to get to the Al Tripoli this close, and they are almost doing the unthinkable. And their unbeaten status in the Nile Conference was getting challenged by APR, who were marred by injuries and poor play, but still, they were the better. They were the better team that was able to match up against Al Tripoli despite the loss. So it is what it is. So do drop me a comment down in the comment section down below. I'll be releasing the remaining game reviews for the final 2 games of the last day of the Nile Conference in the next video. So stay tuned to that, and also release my take on what I've seen in the Nile Conference, because we did that. I was talking about the Kalahari Conference and the Sahara Conference, and yeah, man, it is what it is. So like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get notified, because I'm going to release a lot of videos of this nature. And I'm out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.